Welcome back to Tanya in 5. Today we recap letter 16 in book 4 of Tanya, Iggeret HaKodesh. As mentioned, the Alter Rebbe, author of the Tanya, ran a special charity which he used to support the Hasidim who made Aliyah, who emigrated to the land of Israel. So the Hasidim in Russia, who themselves weren't very well off materialistically, were supporting those Hasidim who lived in Israel who were even less well off materially. And in this letter, the Alter Rebbe addresses one particular community whose financial status took a turn for the worst. And it came to a point where people in the community were borrowing just to maintain their lives. And, understandably, their giving toward this KOLLEL, toward this fund that supported the land of Israel, decreased. So in this letter, the Alter Rebbe urges them to continue giving charity as they used to, and even to increase. And he gives a number of reasons for doing so. Number one, the people in Israel, those Hasidim living there, are looking at us. They have nowhere else to get sustenance but from us here in Russia. Number two, even though Jewish law states that if two people were in a desert and there was only one cup of water enough for one person to survive, the law is drink the water yourself rather than give it to somebody else. That law is only true when the two people are on equal footing and it's a question of, do I die or does the other person die? In that case, you drink the water. That's the law. But if it's a question of somebody else surviving and me having a little extra in life, meaning I might forego my new suit, but somebody else will be able to eat. I'll forego eating meat during the week, but at least somebody else will have bread to eat, water to drink. In that case, because the need of my friend is greater than my need, I am to give. Number three, even if Jewish law did not require me to give, we ought to push ourselves beyond the letter of the law. One who pushes himself beyond the letter of the law, then God, in his judging us, goes beyond the letter of the law. And everyone knows we don't exactly want God to judge us exactly according to the letter of the law. And if we don't want God to judge us according to the letter of the law, we want him to look past some things, then we too ought to give to our friends even beyond the letter of the law. Number three, if someone is in a position where they need divine compassion, and everybody needs divine compassion, then do not withhold the compassion for your fellow. You open your heart compassionately, God responds with compassion. Another reason, each of us, we all have sin. Tzedakah is a cleansing of sin. So for the very spiritual life of my soul, it's important that I give charity. And when it comes to my spiritual life, or any life for that matter, do I take money into consideration? We're talking about my life here. My spiritual life requires me to give charity, so I must give. Especially considering that one who cleanses their soul in itself prevents, God forbid, from bad things happening to one. Furthermore, we believe that giving charity is not simply a giving, but rather it's like giving God a loan. And God pays us back manyfold here in this world. And thus giving charity is the means by which to increase our income. Withholding charity, keeping more money for myself, is not the way to increase income. Increasing income is by giving charity. And lastly, if the community as a whole is giving, then God forbid, one should be punished for not being counted amongst the community that is giving charity. The takeaway from all this is very clear. We must give and give and give, without consideration, without calculation. Give, give, and give. And in return, God gives, gives, and gives all of us blessing without calculation or consideration. Looking forward to seeing you when we conclude letter 17.